Welcome. In front of me is a OnePlus 15, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and the tricks you can do on this device. So let's get started by opening up our settings, and we're gonna just begin from the very top, though maybe not from the first option, but from home screen, lock screen, and style. This is a general section where you can customize the look and feel of your device, though not entirely. There is some missing, which I will be talking about in a moment after this one. But at the very top, the first here option that you can see is basically themes. So there's a couple that are already like loaded up here. You can choose whatever one you want, but you can also scroll down and you'll find just a section where you can create your own by changing things like wallpapers, icon packs. Now, if you have installed additional icon packs, they should show up right here. You can obviously also mess around with the ones that are already included with the device. And some of them will also give you some more, some less options visible here for even further customization of the icons. So you can mess around with those. And additionally, we also have fonts in here. There's again a couple that come included, and I believe if you download more they should show up here, but I have never actually attempted to download fonts, so I have actually no clue. So I'm just gonna move on. And moving on to the more, which includes things like colors, which are, for instance, ones like these ones right here, the accent ones, and you can have the default one. You can choose from a list of just random colors. I do want to point out, sometimes when you select one of those options, it will, if I go back, it will make every color of these icons the same, which just looks a little bit bland, to be completely honest with you. Same thing goes with the things like right here. So something to just keep in mind. Additionally, you can also have these colors be set by the wallpaper that you're using. And wow, if you have ever seen a more men-focused colors here, holy shit, they're all like gray. Not that I have any problem here, but it would be nice to have a little bit more options here. Now, they are based on the wallpaper, which is a default wallpaper of the phone. No, never mind, I lied. It's not a default wallpaper. So this is a mountain, which I guess consists of black, white, and blue, or gray. In any case, not too much colors visible right here, so that's why these options here are so underwhelming. But still, if you choose one of those options in there and you change the wallpaper, it will also change what colors it's picking. So you don't have to go back here and every time change or like readjust this. It's gonna stay, for instance, at the second option or whatever, right? It's gonna pick whatever you chose right here. It's these all have different ways of picking colors right here. So even when you change the wallpaper, it will have the same kind of way of picking colors from a wallpaper, and these differ. And based on whichever one you selected, maybe fresh, it's gonna stay with fresh, just fresh will change. Actually going back, not here, we have additional things like Fingerprint Animation Edge Lighting and Texture Blur. Now, Fingerprint Animation I do want to talk about here. We have several different options to choose from. So we have Nice Explosion, we have the Sling Ring from Marvel, and we have None. Now, I do want to point out the None. If you're looking for an option that isn't going to be straight up just blinding you, flashbanging you at night, if you try to, unlock your device and you just miss the fingerprint by like a little bit, and now we have a searing 3000 nits blasted straight in your face. Selecting None won't help you. The way this works is it's blasting that light on your finger to see the finger. So the only device that, as far as I can tell, doesn't do that are Samsung's, because they use Sonic One. So they basically use like a sound to define your fingerprint rather than a light and trying to see the finger. So no matter what you select here, if you miss that fingerprint sensor by a little bit, you're still gonna get flashbanged. Now anyway, moving on, and we can move on to display and brightness, and here we have light and dark mode at the very top. moving on, we have the dark mode settings, and we have a couple interesting options here. So we have enhanced, medium, and wait, what the hell is this? This is actually the first time I'm seeing this option. So dark mode for third-party apps allows us to apply dark. I'm pretty sure applications usually apply a system-wide, but whatever. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the definition right here is what apps already do. So not sure why this is here. In any case, so this doesn't really seem to change much. Colors may not be displayed correctly when your screen brightness is low. Cool. There we go. That's what I was looking for, actually. Schedule. It's actually was labeled correctly. Just my brain might be a little bit smoother than usual. Anyway, we're gonna turn that on. And in here we have the two options: sunset to sunrise and custom one. This basically allows you to set so your device switches from light to dark mode automatically, so you don't need to do that yourself. And if you use both of these modes, you probably already know that light mode might be a little bit better during the daytime, especially like in summer where you have, you know, stupid amount of sunlight. So yeah, at that point light mode is a little bit easier to see in that direct sunlight. And dark mode will be nice to your eyes when you're trying to use the phone at night. So again, you don't get flashbanged by your own device. So this might be an interesting option for you to choose from. Now I do want to point out that right now it's winter, and sunset to sunrise, it's 4:44 p.m. I'm in a box, and that doesn't really change the fact that right now outside is dark as shit. Sunset to sunrise. The sun already set. It's time for you to change to dark mode, but it's not. And it's not going to do that till like 10 p.m. So it doesn't really take in consideration the fact that sun sets at different times depending on time of year. So something to keep in mind. You might be better off with the custom one if you want to accommodate for, well, sun setting at 4 p.m. and it already being down for about 45 minutes, if not more. So in this case, you would select just a different option. Now scrolling further down, we have screen color mode, and here we have three different options. We have standard, natural, and vivid. Now you can select each one of them, and I recommend paying attention to this image right here of the balloon, and probably, and this is just a guess, probably paying attention primarily to red colors. Okay, there is a difference in the color, or general, like white. It's a little bit warmer with the natural. Now vivid, boom, okay, there we go. And so you can see the biggest difference is in the red and orange tones. So vivid basically tries to boost up the colors of your display to make them look a little bit vibrant. This is actually usually what you would have selected by default, unless companies finally decided to shift from stupid oversaturated images to more natural, as the market is shifting more towards color accurate content. So this might be why standard is selected by default, I think, here. But anyway, you can select whichever option you want. If you like these vibrant colors, you can stick with vivid. It's completely up to you. And furthermore, I'm just gonna change it back to standard though. We can scroll down, and you also have the screen color temperature. This defines the color of white. Now, that sounds a little bit confusing considering white is a color, right? But you can basically make it have a specific tint. So depending on which one you choose, hopefully, I mean, you can see this changing right now on the camera. I hope so, at least. So you can see by me just changing this, we do have quite a difference in how the white actually appears here. Now you also have the pre-made ones. So default smack in the middle, it tries to be as close to white as it can. But we also have the warm, which caters more towards yellowish, orangish tones, while cold goes to blue. And honestly, this is just whichever option you prefer. You can select it here. And additionally, while also talking about this, we have adaptive tones. When you enable this option, it will try to adapt these tones based on the lighting that you have around you, meaning, for instance, like the artificial lights, or not even. Sunlight will also matter. And at that point, the phone will use the camera to see what kind of warmth of the color you have right here, or lack thereof, and it will match that to the display. Now, because this is enabled and it's now doing this automatically, if we go back to screen color mode, you can see that the mode right here is completely disabled for us. I can no longer move it around. I can no longer change it to warm or cold, because this wheel right now, the color on it is being picked automatically by this option right over here. Now, scrolling further down, we have a couple of video enhancing options. So we have the image sharpener, and this will try to use the phone's processor to upscale, if you can even call that upscaling, to make the image look a little bit sharper and higher resolution than it actually is. You can enable this. Just keep in mind when you're going to be using this feature, not when it's enabled. It can be enabled but not be used, obviously. It's being used when you're, I believe, watching content either to like a video application, maybe Photos app. It will try to do that. So when it's being used to improve the sharpness of an image, it will consume more of your phone's battery because it's using the processor to do that, meaning it puts a little bit more effort on going through this kind of content. Now, going back, we also have the video color boost. Now, this is a weird way to describe this. It's basically a fake HDR. I don't know why it's called video color boost. It's more like video brightness boost, more like. So in reality, what this caters to is converting a standard dynamic range to high dynamic range. Now, again, just like the sharpener, it will use your phone's battery more when it's being used for instance, playing back movies that never supported HDR. So it will then take that standard dynamic range movie and try to give it their own spin on it to make it look like it was HDR. Keep in mind, that doesn't mean that the video is now HDR. It just means that your phone is working overtime to try to convince you that it's close enough to it. So some things obviously might not look correct. The brightness won't be anything like an actual high dynamic range video, and it's just a imitation of it, more like, probably would be the best way to describe it. But it might still give you a better experience using it compared to the standard dynamic range content. So you might as well turn it on. If you watch a lot of TV shows, movies on your phone, it might give you better results. But keep in mind, when using this, you will be consuming more battery on your phone. Now, how much more? I can't tell you. I haven't tested it out extensively to know this. So it's something for you to maybe check out. You can obviously go into the battery section. So if we go back, you can navigate to, oops, if I clicked it correctly, battery right here. And by scrolling down, not closing this, you would find the application that you use to watch content, and when you see it, you can see how much percentage it used and how much it's been running. So at that point, you would basically want to take a note on how much battery it used when watching it in normal standard dynamic range, then enable that feature, watch it again for the same amount of time, and see how much the battery decreased from that again. And this will give you a good understanding on how much bigger the power draw will be. Anyway, moving on, we can now actually move into the plus key, which I did tap by mistake. And this is something that I don't personally like, the substitute for the actual hard switch that we used to have that would allow us to move it to up and down for silent, vibrate, and so on. Instead, now we're basically copying Apple right here with this phone and giving you the absolute bullshit slap by literally not implementing anything original, just straight up copying Apple, because apparently Apple can't do no wrong. Apple, everything that they do must be absolute shitting gold, and I absolutely effing hate it. I would prefer to have a switch. OnePlus could have kept it. I would have been more happy than with this piece of shit right here. but it is what it is. Anyway, instead of being unique, we're basically being or copying shit, and because of that we have literally the same garbage that Apple offers. So we have the plus 2 minds. You know what? I need to check what the shit is this. I shit you not, this is Apple animation. What the hell? Wow, you really can't come up with your own shit, OnePlus, can you? So what does it even do? If I hold it, select voice input language. Cool. I mean English. Confirm. What the fuck are you doing? What's the purpose of this? Analyzing. What are you analyzing? Screen content. Cool. So you added a screenshot. Wow. Oh great. You told me the obvious. Wow. What I would do without this feature. Wow. So this is absolutely useless. Great. Let's get rid of this shit. I would prefer to have it not do literally anything rather than what it's doing right now. Thanks, OnePlus. Anyway, and here we have a couple options like silent and vibrate. So it's missing one option that we used to have. Okay. Do not disturb mode, camera, flashlight. Actually, that's an option that I would probably use. Voice recorder, translation, screenshots, which is basically what the first option does anyway, and we can have it do nothing. Are you kidding me here? So I want to stop here for a moment. Why the absolute high heaven did you remove the switch, copy Apple, but then decided to copy it to the extent that it's shitty, but not give me the option to select whatever I want to use as this effing button? Instead, you give me no action as the last option. Did you not realize that Apple actually has additional things that are just a little bit harder to see that you can choose from, like custom up or custom action? Because I sure as shit can't find any other options here, which makes this piece of shit button useless. Like, shove it up your ass. Oh my god, I hate this. I hate this with burning passion. Anyway, I'm going to be selecting the only thing that I would ever use here, which is a flashlight. I personally have more use of a flashlight because it lets me see, rather than a garbage-ass AI mode that tells me what is on my screen when I pressed it by mistake. Well, thank you very much. It's a home screen. I couldn't tell it myself. So at least flashlight won't give me. Hello, I need to hold it. Oh my god, I need to hold it. Great, because by mistake I might press it. Fantastic. So yeah, holding it basically turns it on and off. Now, for some stupid retarded reason, we can have it on a press. That's your simple little brain that you need AI for to think for you could confuse this and press it by mistake, so you need to hold it now. Great. Don't I feel like I'm so warm and fuzzy inside and patted by the corporation so I don't do anything that they wouldn't want me to do? Feels so nice. Anyway, let's go back in here to the settings and ignore AI. It literally makes me want to use this phone less when I see this, like straight up. And last thing that I want to talk about is the system navigation. So we're going to go into system and update and go into the system navigation. We have gestures and buttons. And obviously you can choose whichever one you want. But at the button, or the gesture option, we do have additional options like hide gesture bar guide. We're going to hide it. And it just gets rid of this crap from the bottom. It serves literally no purpose other than to just indicate where you're supposed to swipe up from. Like the swiping up from the bottom of your screen wasn't apparent enough. Maybe I should have AI tell me that. And we also have the mistouch prevention, along with options here that allow you to increase or decrease the sensitivity of your back swipes So if I start moving this, this will actually show you a blue bar. There we go. Not sure why it didn't show up the first time. So you can see now the way this works, this blue bar indication, your finger needs to start the swipe from the blue area outside of it to trigger the back gesture. So obviously if you swipe it all the way to the bottom, you can see this bar is very, very small. So you need to be very precise about the back swipes. Now the way I do it, this doesn't really matter how low it is, because I always start from outside of the screen into it, which always triggers it correctly. So anyway, another thing in here that I wanted to show while we're here is the animation speed, which we'll need to actually enable through developer options, which are enabled right now, but you won't see this option in here by default. So first things we would need to do is navigate into About Device, and then find is it version? I believe it's this. No, there we go. Is the version number right here. So tap on that 7 times, and when you do, if you have a screen lock, you will need to confirm it. When you do, it will tell you that you are now a developer. So you can go back into the system and update, select the developer options, and then start scrolling down. And we're looking for window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. And this is located under the drawing category right here. So once you find this, you can change all of these options to be at, for instance, 0.5. Now there's a chance, oops, I misclicked. There's a chance that there is also an option under the display to change the animation speed of your device, but this is actually like a definitive version. This will actually give you a much better result than the options and the settings that you have like by default available to you. Now I recommend changing this to 0.5. I don't recommend going to off option. As an example, if we select these to be off, number one, you can already see the glitchiness. So when I click on the window, there's like a black flash for like a single frame when it's disappearing with this window. Another thing that you might see is, well, this. So when I let go, it just snaps. Then I have like the, again, black flash where it pops into view. So it's working, just not in the best way. So it might have a little bit of a gimmicky kind of look to it. So I prefer to have it at 0.5. This increases the animation speed by basically reducing it by half, and meaning I can now access content much faster while still having the animation, so not having this glitchy look to it. And there's one more thing that I want to talk about, which is this bar right here at the on the side. You can swipe up on it, and this will show you a bunch of applications. We can edit this, so we can add more apps in here. And there's a lot of apps you can add in here, but I'm just going to keep it as it is. We can also go into the settings right here, and we have the Smart Sidebar, so you can get rid of it if you don't want it, and should have show up names. No, because we don't have the option to get rid of. Oh no, there is no AI crap. Okay, never mind. I'm confusing it with Samsung. Samsung tries to cram down AI features down your throat. So yeah, we don't have it. We just have the file dock for some reason in here. Like, it's taking a little bit too much space, but it's whatever. So once you add some applications in here, more than we have right now, you can then just, for instance, grab them from here, drag them over, drop them, and you can see it's now doing this a split screen. You can grab another app. I think I grabbed Chrome, so I'm gonna grab, oh, nope, never mind, grabbed Photos. So if we tap on it, it opens it up in a pop-up view. Just get rid of this for now, minimize. Let's also grab this. So when I drop this, I already have the photos right here at the top. Now it's going to be split screening. So as you can see, now we can split screen, we can resize this if you want to, and we can click on the bar, so this black area right here, and what you can actually do is save as a app group. Now it saves it to home screen, whatever, good enough I guess. So I'm going to close this, try to find it, and it's right here. So you can see 2 different applications shown. So if I click on this, it will open both of them up at the same time. So you can create app pairs like this and have easy access to them later on. And for instance, you could do something like your browser and YouTube and have YouTube at the top while watching videos. You can be browsing the web. You don't need subscriptions. The videos will continue to play, which is what we all care about. Or you could just alternatively use YouTube Revanced and it will do the same thing while you close the app. And with the pop-up applications, like I have one right here, you can just open them up. You can have multiple of them open at the same time, as you can see. And I can just be swiping through them. Oh, there we go. So there we go. And you can get rid of it quickly. And obviously you can have other things open at full screen while also utilizing the pop-up view version of it. And you can also see that you can resize it while still using it fully. So there we go. Now that sums up all the things that I wanted to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.